5 things you need to know before hiring employees. The first thing is before you ever hire anyone, you need to clearly define the role that you're hiring for and clearly define what success looks like in that role. The second thing is never hire the first person that you interview. Never do it. The third thing is that when you do hire that person, your workload is not going to decrease. In fact, it's going to increase. The fourth thing is hiring is expensive. It can cost thousands of dollars just to get a new hire. And number 5 is a belief that I think a lot of business owners have, and that is your business is not immediately just going to grow and you're not immediately just going to have a ton of free time because you make your first hire. It's to allow you to focus on things that are going to grow the business and move it forward so that you can spend your time and attention on higher ROI activities.
Okay, this is the kind of advice where it starts out sounding good and then there's some real head scratchers thrown in there. I absolutely think that in order to be successful for any hire, whether it's your first employee or your 100th employee, you need to have the role clearly defined. Why are you hiring this person? What do you expect them to do? And what do you expect the output to be that's going to make it look like they did a good job? If that's not clearly laid out, if you don't clearly explain it to them and then give them the tools and the training to be successful and set clear expectations and regularly follow up and monitor, then any failure or shortcomings they have, it's really on you as the employer, not the employee. And definitely write it down. I think those are all important things. Those are all must-haves for being a good employer and being able to hire well. But then number 2 was don't hire the first person you interview. Well, why not? What if they're amazing? What if they happen to have all the qualities you're looking for and check all the boxes? Just because they're first, don't hire them? I think what he means is don't just jump into it. Don't just take whoever shows up first and give them the job and assume it's going to work out. But ideally, the first person you interview is not the first resume you looked at. Ideally, you're looking at least 10 to 20 resumes for each one interview you do. And then generally speaking, at least 2 or 3 people should be interviewed for the job. But it might be that the first interview that you have really is the best fit and that's the right person to hire. So some of this advice just doesn't make sense. Yes, everybody you hire is going to take work to train and get up to speed, so it's not going to immediately decrease your workload. It is going to cost money, which is why you want to be careful about who you hire so you don't spend a lot of time and money bringing on somebody who's not going to be a good long-term fit. The first one made a lot of sense. The second one made no sense. And the next 3 just sounded like statements rather than things you must do or things that you must be careful about or things that you should do to hire the right person. So this was sort of mixed bag advice. Point 1 though, super important.